Here again, back at it with another video. So today I wanted to speak about. Let me see if I could remove this. I'd rather not touch it. All right. Well, we actually there. Let me hide. All right. So this video is going to be about, well, as the title says, experience remedy and not extortion from the government. Now, pretty much what this summarizes is anybody that knows about, the straw man, knows anything about legal loopholes like redeem lawful money. I don't really want to call it a loophole, but any, you know, um, information, any sort of remedy that can be used to benefit the people. Because, we obviously, and pretty much everybody does not like to be extorted by the government. Now, this presentation, I pretty much just want to just highlight some key basic points for everybody. And this is really good for beginner people that don't really know too much about, this sort of space of information. But, the whole idea, or at least for me, the whole idea, and I believe, everybody could agree with this. The whole idea of, studying discharging debt, do not detain, the Strawman, being tax exempt, being out of the jurisdiction so you don't have to pay taxes, all these things, we are just looking for, to not be messed with, to not be extorted with, to not be, taken, or things taken from us, So, I'm just bringing it together and titling this experience remedy and not extortion for the government. So what is this all about? It's about how the government takes advantage of us and how we can take our power back. So pretty much this whole idea of learning about this information. When you learn about do not detain, if you learn about strawman and all this deep rabbit hole information, in the gist of it, it's all about how the government takes advantage of us, how the government extorts us, and how we can take our power back. That's what this whole idea of studying this information is about. Now, you will ask yourself, what is your straw man? So your straw man is a fictional person. And I don't know if I have the definition of person here in the legal dictionary, but the legal definition of person is a corporation or a fictional entity. So a person could mean somebody that's alive or somebody that is not alive. So that's what your straw man is. Your straw man is a person, but is a fictional person. And another like deeper definition of straw man, or a more proper definition of straw man, is an enslegis. And an enslegis is a creature of the law, an artificial being, as contrasted with a natural person. So, as contrasted with a natural person. So, an enslegis is anything that is contrasted with a natural person. So, the straw man is contrasted as a natural person, and the enslegis is contrasted as a natural person. So, the enslegis and the straw man is one and the same thing. Applied to corporations considered as deriving their existence entirely from the law. So, your straw man, what's it saying here? When it's saying as contrasted with a natural person, that means that, I can't pull up the definition of contrasted, but it's pretty much, the way it's worded is like you're saying, it's saying that there's this fictional entity that's being contrasted as a natural person, that's being looked like a natural person. Okay. So that should raise some flags. That should raise some question marks and some exclamation marks for people that want to call this bogus or want to call this BS, because it's not. You could go to the dictionary and you could look this up yourself in the law dictionary. In the law dictionary, it says this is real. So anybody who is saying that the straw man is fake or saying that this stuff is BS, point this out to them and say, look at the definition of person. Look at the definition of enslegis. Look at the definition or the straw. Well, I mean, the straw man is not necessarily, it's like a pretty much like a slang. It's not really inside of the legal dictionary as a straw man, or at least I'm not aware of that yet. But person is there and legis is there. So that should raise some flags for anybody who doesn't know about this information or wants to go against this kind of information because it's real in your face right here. Look it up. Okay. Now, so why is this important? So I wrote, so you know the differences between fiction and corporation versus your natural self. So you can start to know how to get remedy in different situations because the real you and the fictional thing that's attached to you has two separate governance systems. You know, like the way you handle a business when it gets in trouble is totally different how you handle somebody who gets in trouble, you know? So, like, for example, if a business gets in trouble for anything, damages or injuring somebody, they just get sued. With a person, they can end up going to jail and doing some time. So, you want to know the differences and you want to be able to set yourself up properly so you can avoid these type of situations that can happen to you. And also say this is one of the first things to study, in my opinion, to wrap your head around this, as there is two worlds: the public versus the private, the natural world versus their corporate structure, which is the fictional layer that they have you in and trick you into playing with so they can continue to extort you. Because when you are outside their jurisdiction, they won't be able to do the normal things that they usually do to the normal people. Okay. So this is pretty short. Just a couple more slides. Yeah, so the birth certificate and social security number. So the birth certificate and the social security number was issued to everybody that was born in the United States. Now, if you look at your birth certificate, there is a QSIP number, and on the birth certificate, you could look up the QSIP number and see that it's on the stock exchange. Now, my father did this, and he saw his birth certificate on the stock exchange. Though it wasn't a lot, but you gotta understand, he just looked up one. He just went to Fidelity. Um, but it is confirmed. It is on the stock market. You look it up yourself. So what they're doing, they're pretty much trading. So you're pretty much collateral to the national debt, and they created the national debt, and it's there on purpose because in order, so they pretty much have a reason to tax you crazy and to continue having you work like a slave. And the way they make money off of you is obviously off of that and off your birth certificate, and because you being alive and working, they're guaranteed to make money off of you, so they could make so much money off of birth certificates. And Jeff Berwick, I don't know if he knows this or not. I think he knows a tiny bit, but he mentioned, I mean, I got to look this up, but he mentioned how every person that's born in the United States is automatically $250,000 in debt. And I think what he means about that is just when you live through life, you know, school loans, credit card debt, houses, cars, all these different things, taxes, crazy everywhere. Everybody is born is pretty much born with $250,000 of debt. Okay, and Social Security number as well too. Now the TDA accounts and things like that. There is a way to access them, but you gotta have access them properly. Because if you access them through the Federal Reserve routing numbers, they will reverse, and you may incur more fees or extra payment that you didn't pay because you thought or it was quote unquote covered for those 3 months or whatever. Now, when you authenticate your birth certificate, you are actually claiming the title. So the title, the birth certificate, the original, well, not the original, but the birth certificate copy that you have, that is not the original copy, or that's not the original birth certificate. And whoever has the original documents of anything is the true holder in due course. So the true holders of the birth certificate is the government, and the government owns your birth certificate, which owns you. Now, when you authenticate your birth certificate, you claim ownership of it, but it's only a claim. So you got to do like multiple different things, probably a couple to several different things to the more claims that you have on your name, the fictional name, you show that you're more of the true owner than the government. Now, then again, the birth certificate is one way to do that, and it's a highly recommended thing to do. And also, when you authenticate your birth certificate, you are qualified to discharge debt on the federal level. Give me a second to drink some water, please. Okay. So I don't know if I could zoom in. I hope I can. Here we go. Cool. So let me show you here. Okay, right here. Boom. So when you authenticate your birth certificate is able to discharge debt on the federal level, and it confirms it right here. Here, let me just read the whole thing. I certify, and this is the Department of State saying this. I certify that the document hereunto annexed in is under the seal of the Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Investigation, United States of America, and that such seal is entitled to full faith and credit. So when you get this authenticated, it's backed by full faith and credit. Full faith and credit. Okay, I mean, come on now, credit. Like, what else would they be talking about? Okay, especially if your birth certificate is being traded in stocks, they're making money off your birth certificate. Now, when you authenticate it and you get this form, your birth certificate will be backed by full faith and credit, and you can use that to discharge any amount of debt because it's backed by full faith. Okay, and there's a specific way you want to authenticate it. If you don't do it properly, you may not be able to discharge debt, or there may be significant delays. Okay, so you want to make sure that you authenticate it properly. Okay, the next one. So here's are some remedies that I have experienced through my journey so far doing these things. My driver's license, I reinstated it for myself and my father. So I got a ticket, a couple tickets from driving with no registration and no insurance. And they charged me, they wanted to charge me $1,600. I never paid it. And after so long, within that year or the year later, I got a letter from the DMV. And the DMV, they said, hey, if you don't pay this amount, $1,600, then we're going to suspend your driver's license in 30 days. So from what I've learned now, which is cool, what is very, very cool about this if I didn't know anything about any of this information, right? If I was one of those people that said this is a bunch of BS, I'm not gonna look into this. I don't care about remedy. I don't care about. I'd rather just bend over and let the government hit it from the back. I'm not those kind of people. Okay, I want to, um, but then again, they don't know. I mean, because if they did, well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe not all of them do. But so me knowing what I know, thankfully, I did not get taken advantage of. And what I did is I sent that letter back to them with a third party debt collector letter. And I sent that to the court and to the DMV. And I also, sent them the DMV letter that they sent me. I sent that back to them. Now, when I did that, I'm declining their offer. Okay. I'm refusing their offer. I'm refusing their contract. I do not want a contract with that. I do not agree with that, what they said. And um yeah, so I literally I didn't put no I'm traveling, da da da, none of that. I all I did was submit a third party debt collector notice. It's similar when you do credit repair. It's a very similar letter. I sent that to them. Boom. With the letter back to them, like, I do not accept that. Boom. And I did that within 72 hours. And that is very important, that you want to, anything that you do not agree with, that they try to have you do, or try to make you feel like those are your only two options and blah, blah, blah. Whatever you do not agree with, you have to send back within 72 hours. I need to find the law that shows it. I found it, but I lost it. I could probably find it again to probably bring up to you guys and put on my website or something. But it's in UCC codes. You have 72 hours to decline a presentment for it to not apply. So I sent that back to them within 72 hours, and then I also sent them a third party debt collector notice with that, and sent that to them. Boom. Now, what happened was, and I didn't know this. I did not know this. What happened was, they still suspended my license 30 days from the letter that they stated. But the interesting thing was, exactly 3 months later, they reinstated it for free. Now, I also did it for my father, and it worked for him too. Now, what I found interesting, or the reason why it took 3 months, was because the reason why it took 3 months was because it takes 3 months for something to get put on the debt record. So, for example, if you're paying a credit card, if you don't pay that credit card for 3 months, what happens? It gets sent to collections and gets labeled as a debt. Okay, but you could be paying your credit card for 5 months and not even know it's on the debt record. Now, it doesn't hurt your credit or anything like that, but it takes 3 months for something to get put on the debt record. So if you're trying to discharge debt, any kind of bills that you're paying, you got to wait 3 months until you discharge it. And then on top of that, there's certain quarters that you are only able to discharge. I have that in my webinar. But anyways, yeah, so it took 3 months because I'm assuming is that it wasn't necessarily a debt yet. So what they did was they waited 3 months to do it. Okay. Now, redeem lawful money. I was researching, I learned about that. And my father, he filed tax exempt for a whole entire year, and then he owed $1,800. And I was telling him how I learned how to redeem lawful money. Let's try it. And he did. And what happened was, and this is kind of interesting. What happened was what happened was, yeah, so it's just, this turned into a long presentation. All right, so my head's getting cloudy. All right, so he sent it in, And the IRS, they never sent him a letter confirming anything. So my father, he thought he still owed $1,800 and it didn't work. And I'm like, yo, I had to do it. Like, dude, my father's a little hard headed because I even had issues with him with the driver's license part, but I was still able to do it with him. All right, so I was telling him like, hey, you should call the IRS to check up on it and see what happened. See if you still owe the money, see if it's been cleared, do 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 do. And then he called the IRS and he was talking to the guy. And then my father told the IRS guy, he's like, yeah, I redeemed lawful money. I'm checking on the status of my account. And then the IRS talked to him back like he knew what my dad was talking about as far as redeeming lawful money, because he's like, yeah, I see that. Okay, yeah, you're all good. Your account is zero, so you're good. And then my dad was like, okay, cool, thank you. And I guess he found out too when he was on the phone call that, I guess my father, he also owed money with the IRS with um, back pay or back fees from not filing unemployment. And when he redeemed lawful money, the money that was left over, um, zeroed that account out too. What he told me. Okay. So yeah. So now I wanted to talk about the judicial card notice. So what happened with there? So what happened there? I was living at the last house I was living at. It was in a gated community, and you couldn't park your car in the gated community. You had to park it outside the gated community. And the gated community was a pretty nice size. So outside the gated community, there's tons of cars parked on the street because the cars that can't be parked on the street can't be parked in the gated community, has to be parked outside the street. Only cars that are inside the driveway could be parked. So there's tons of cars, which is normal. It looks pretty normal too. It's just cars on the sidewalk, and there's a big gated community, so it looks normal. Looks normal, whatever. But since it's a public street, cops would check to see if people's cars are registered, and street sweepers will come by. They just barely started putting street sweepers there, most likely to make more money. And they put street sweepers there. And then if you're parked on that side of the street a certain day when it's coming, then you're gonna get a $65 ticket. But anyways, I had a 2001 Nissan, and it didn't have no license plates, but it was registered. But it never got smogged. It never passed smogged, and I had to buy a moving car permit every like 3 days, which was so cold. So my 3 days was up, and then like 1 or 2 days after my 3 days was up, my car was gone. The reason why I was gone was because I didn't have no moving permit, and it made my car look suspicious anyways because it didn't have no license plate, but it still was registered. But they towed it anyways. So they towed it, and I'm like, damn, But then again, I didn't really care too much because the car, it was breaking down. It had a blowhead gasket, and the car was never going to be able to pass smog at all. But anyways, they towed that. Now, here's where this judicial notice car comes into play. So what happened was I had a new car, right? And the car that I had, the new one, I didn't have registration on my car for like 2 years. And it was parked outside the street on the same thing. And the whole 2 years, the car never got towed. Now, here's the thing. Cars outside of that street do sometimes get towed when it doesn't have no registration. And I remember my father telling me that he knows that too because he's seen a truck getting towed like at 3 or 2, 4 o'clock in the morning. In the middle of the night, a truck was getting towed from that street, and it was most likely getting towed because they had no registration. So this judicial car notice pretty much saved my car from getting towed. It also helped out following leading into the being free to go with the police encounter. I also got let go, free to go with the police, and I had that judicial car notice on my car, which was a further help with me being let go and not being messed with, because they're saying, okay, this guy knows his rights. I mean, they probably didn't even know what judicial meant. So they're like, judicial, I know I probably heard it in court and it's something legal. It has to do with something like legalese, and I don't understand that, but I do know that this guy probably knows the law. And what the funny thing was, I was in my car with a couple coworkers and we were smoking. I wasn't too high. I mean, we barely parked on the curb and started. We just did one rotation. Cop rolled up, rolled down my window. A bunch of weed smoke came out. But I was surprised that the cop didn't ask me about the weed smoke right away because it was so noticeable. But the cop just said, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And then I said, I'm about to drop my coworkers off home from work." And then after he asked me those couple questions, he was like, "Okay, can I see your driver's license?" And I looked at my wallet. I was about to give it. I wasn't about to give it to him, but I was thinking about it the whole time. Like, damn, how am I gonna get out of this? Because I know. If I get my driver's license, it's over. He won. He's gonna do all these things, and it's over. So what I did was I pulled out a exercise your rights card that lists all my rights. And if you want one, you go to my website. I'll get to that to the end. But I gave that to the cop instead, and I was like, "Hey, you got to read this by law. You got to read this by law, or you'll be entitled to a lawsuit." Because what pretty much what I was saying is, hey, you got to read this. You got to make sure you don't violate none of my rights right here. Because if you do, I'm gonna sue you. I said that 3 times, and we're going back and forth, and I was being articulate, I was being professional, I was having manners and everything like that, being polite. I won't say being super polite, but I was just talking like a normal person, in a normal tone of voice. And he would hit me with some codes like I'm violating. He's like, "Oh, smoking weed 100 feet away from a public park is a violation code of blah blah blah, and I could do this." And I was like, "Well," then I rebutted him. I was like, "Well, you know what? As far as I know with the law, the law overstands codes, and laws like me having the right to pursue happiness overstands those codes that you just said." And then he was quiet. He didn't say nothing. And then I was. It was a comfort. We're out there for about 10 minutes, and the whole time when I was talking back and forth with 2 cops, I guess one of the because there's like 3 different cop cars there, and they pulled out both of my coworkers and searched them. And my coworkers left the weed inside my car because they're like, okay, he's about to search me. They don't know their rights. And I mean, yeah, they could have easily said no. But they didn't know about their rights, and they left their weed in my car. Uh, but yeah, they got searched and everything like that. And I guess it was funny because the coworkers were saying after the whole situation was over, they're like, dude, the cops were saying like, hey, have your like, let your friend like, why's your friend gotta be like this? Just like let him do our job, like let him do what we want to do, or something like that. They said to him, they're like, I don't know why he's acting like this, or blah blah blah, whatever. But yeah, we're going back and forth about 8-10 minutes. And then every time I rebutted them, every time I made them look stupid with the law, like I know what I'm talking about, I would follow through with saying, for that being said, I'd like to be free to go. I'm not committing no crime. Nobody's injured. I'd like to be free to go. And, I did that about 3 times. And then the third time, he was like, okay, as long as it's okay with the supervisor. And I looked up to the supervisor, but his head was above my car. And I was trying to look up at his, trying to get eye contact to talk to him, but I couldn't see his face. So I just said, hey, can I be free to go? And then, I just seen him nod his head looking the other way, not even looking at me, just nodding his head. And I was like, wow, this guy. Anyways, after that, yeah, I was like, thank you. You guys are good cops. Thank you. I just, drove off. And but during that whole confrontation, I even told the cops like, my rights and how I don't even need insurance or registration by law. And the reason why I just said that is so they don't bring that up. I bring that up first, and they didn't say nothing. And I knew, I wanted to mention that anyways because I'm assuming that they probably did run my plates and my registration. Now, if I would have given my driver's license, right? If I would have did the normal thing that normal people do, I probably would have most likely got my car towed. Um, I would got a ticket for possession because that coworker left her weed in my car. So I'd have got charged for that. I would have got charged for possession of blah 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 whatever. I would have got um, probably driving under the influence of weed. I would have got my car towed, and I probably would have did some jail time. And I would have got a bit fat ass ticket again for no registration. And I would have got another ticket for no insurance. And my car towed. So towing fees on top of that. So it would have been very, very, very ugly, if I would have, bent over and gave him my driver's license. Now, for everybody out there, if a cop is gonna pull out a gun, right? If he got his hand on the gun and he's yelling and he's getting violent, I would just say, you can do what you want to do, but me, I'm just gonna follow his orders, whatever he says, because I ain't trying to die. I'm not trying to be another black man that got killed, and get added on the statistics list. Okay. Oh yeah. Then the last thing I want to talk about is a court judge admitted partial truth. So I got another ticket from a cop, and I wanted to fight it in court. So, because I wanted to get some court experience. So I went up in there and talking to the judge. This was like the worst judge anybody could possibly get. She was not nice. Well, I mean, she uh, appeared to be nice, but she was totally corrupt because I came in there proper, came in there, you know, professionally, came in with the with the law, and I almost beat myself up with it how I failed, but then again I think about it and I'm like, yo, like even if I even did a better job, I feel like she still would have, even if I said, you know what, I want a speedy trial, you're not giving me no justice here. I think she still would have did what she can to just give me, charge me for the ticket and get me out of there. But here's the thing, what she said. So I was pulling up the Constitution. I was like, okay, because I'm in California. I'm like, according to this Constitution, and I was reading it. I was like, a cop cannot pull me over without a warrant or without probable cause. And then the judge was like, no, da 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 da, just going around beating the bush. And like, no, da 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 da. The ticket is this much. How would you like to pay? And I did sales. She's going straight to the close. I'm like, no, and I repeat it, boom, boom, boom. And then she's like, no, repeats her close, da da da. How much you want to pay? I'm like, no, look, and I read it again, boom, 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 boom. A cop cannot pull me over, and cannot seize me, da 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 da, without a warrant. Cop can't pull me over without probable cause, without a warrant. And then I kept repeating it, and she knew I was going to keep repeating it. So she had to admit something. So she's like, no, Anthony, it's actually that a cop can't arrest you without a warrant. And after she said that, I looked over at the cop next to me. It was a woman, and the woman cop was stuttering since she walked in the damn office. I don't know why. I was looking at her like, why is she so nervous? Probably because she saw me with my pack of documents and me in a button down tie, looking slick, like I knew what I'm doing and know what I'm talking about too. But yeah, she was studying the whole time. But yeah, she had her eyes open, like what, to herself, because she's like, what, in her mind, she's probably thinking like, wait, All these cops that I work with, that I know about, are arresting hella people without warrants. People that are driving under the influence get arrested. They don't got no warrant. People that are uh, driving without a driver's license, they getting arrested. People that have a suspended license, they get arrested. People that are driving reckless, they get arrested. They don't have no warrants. These people don't have no warrants, they get arrested. And she's tripping. I can see her face. Her eyes are wide open. And then the judge, well, after she said that, she quickly changed the subject and said, okay, how would you like to pay? Like, quickly changed it because she knew that she just said something that she probably shouldn't have said. But what's good is that, I'm glad that I went there anyways and tried to do that because I made a difference in probably multiple people's lives because now one cop knows that if she arrests somebody without a warrant, there could be some consequences, okay? And that's the main point not the main point, but one of the strong points I want to get through this presentation is that please know the law, study the law, and sue these cops for doing these things to you, writing you tickets, arresting you without a warrant, because you're going to win in court when you take them to small claims court. And when you go to small claims court, these cops have to represent themselves and they do not know the law. If you know the law, you're going to crush them in that court and you could sue them up to $10,000. Now, if everybody does that enough, these cops we're going to see less people getting pulled over. We're going to see less people getting killed, and we're going to see less people getting beat up by a cop because they're going to know that there is consequences when they pull us over and when they do these certain things without a warrant or without probable cause. Okay? Now, that's pretty much all that I have for you guys. I hope that this whole thing was being recorded because I do not want to do this over again. But yeah, let me go over some websites with you guys. So if you want to find me, I have a YouTube channel. That's probably where you're watching that now. Maybe, maybe not. I have my Instagram at Anthony Pooler. I have a Twitter. I'm not even really on my Twitter, but you can follow me if you want. I got a website. Actually, it's a name differently. Let me change that. It's actually called resolveyourcredit.com. Actually, I didn't talk about the testimonials or the remedies that I experienced. There's a couple more on here. But I also removed things off my credit. And I also, which was cool, after I put in my do not detain, the sheriff got it because I sent it to the sheriff. Right after that, because the way my detain is set up, it's set up as a contract. And I mentioned in there that they violated my right of my holding my own property. They took my property, which was that Nissan car that they towed, and I put that in there. And it's like the cop, when they saw that, it's like they wanted to find a way to get more, to extort me more. So right after I sent that do not detain, I'll say like a month later or a couple weeks later, I get that letter from the police department or towing company connected to the police department saying that I owe $2,500 for towing fees and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? Like, this is 2 years ago. Like, how am I going to get this? How am I getting this letter right now if this was 2 years ago? 2 years ago. And I think the date on that dang freaking letter, bill, or whatever it was, like the date was recent too. But it also had the date when they did the selling, or I mean, they could have lied about the date too. I don't know. But I got that. I'm like, what? But, good thing I have these letters. I sent out that letter. And the second time I sent it out, the second notice, yeah, they stopped asking me for the $2,500. And I'm thankful and grateful for knowing this because if I was just any regular other person or the same person I was before I knew this information, I would have, called them and said, hey, how can I make payments? That's probably what I would have done. I also have another website called anthonypooler.com, but that one is still under construction. You should also check out this other website I have called BizOps. BizOps is short for business opportunities, and pretty much helping people make money online legitimately. Um, when you go there, I have a current offer right now showing you how you can make a couple $100 by tomorrow and went in about a day. Check that out. It's legitimate. You can make money from that. I made money with that myself. Um, you can do that, and then also you can also outsource it to have people do it for you and make money that way too. And then also give you guys a couple other things to check out. And then you're going to be subscribed to my email list. And I send out emails to you showing you different opportunities how to make money online. But yeah, and then if you also sign up here to resolveyourcredit.com, I show you how to get up to, um, I show you how to get $5,000 minimum in credit limit, no matter your credit score. And I also, when you learn that, you also learn how you can even get up to 15 to 17, $18,000 in credit limit, and be able to use that credit limit to obtain more credit. And I show you how to repair your credit as well. And I also show you tips and tricks on how to get very large credit limits for your credit. But yeah, that's all that I got for you guys. Um, I highly recommend you guys to please check these links out, and also to I highly would appreciate if you guys like this video, share this video. Um, when you share it, it will help boost my YouTube algorithm so more people can find me and find this information. It's very important for people to know this so they know what's going on, and so less people get taken advantage of. And the more people that know this, the less stupidity in the laws that we'll see, and more freedom and liberty and prosperity that we'll be able to experience. But yeah, please share this video so more people can see my video, and YouTube could boost up the algorithm. Share, like my video, and so make sure you subscribe as well. Alrighty, that's all I got for you guys. So thank you guys for tuning in to this presentation. Really appreciate it. Experience remedy and not extortion from the government. Thank you guys. Peace out.